Hello there, and welcome to the Outstime Film Podcast, where we talk film, TV, games, and all that jazz like there's no tomorrow. This week, we're talking about Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. My name is Tom, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host John. How are you this week?
Hello, hello. I'm feeling great. It's kind of the holiday break right now. Like, is that break? So,
It's
I,
getting,
I, I,
it's getting there. Wait, are you off already?
I don't know. I,
Okay.
I don't know what's going on, but
Well, it's
I just
snowing outside for us,
it's snowing.
which,
Yeah.
where we are in Manchester, that never happens. That literally, like, this is unheard of. So it truly is a beautiful time right now. It feels like the break, doesn't it?
It does. It's that Christmas spirit.
Absolutely,
Anyway,
absolutely.
what are we talking? Oh, yes, today.
We're doing Pinocchio. We're doing it. We're back again to do another Pinocchio. We have already done the two Disney versions, of course, the 1940 classic and the 2022 remake. So
Uh,
you can listen to those if you want to kind of get our thoughts on Pinocchio as a whole. But yeah, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Briefly explain the plot for those who don't know.
so, a father's wish magically brings a wooden boy to life in Italy, giving him a chance to care for the child. And then that's it. Yeah, that's
Wow,
the
who would have guessed? That's the plot
wow,
of Pinocchio.
wow.
Whoa!
That's the plot.
And before we start, full spoilers ahead. Haha, I'm here from the future.
You know what's funny is that every
What?
time I look into the different Pinocchio films, I think
Yeah.
there's a 2019 one.
There is. It's an Italian one. I don't know who directed it, but I know that it stars Roberto Benigni, who people may know from Life is Beautiful, which is just an
Oh,
excellent film. But it's funny that you bring that up because I put on our community tab, which is fairly new, and I'm having so much fun putting polls up. I asked people what their favorite adaptation of Pinocchio is, and out of the people who voted, 89% said the Disney original 1940 and 11% said Pinocchio: A True Story, which came out last year. Do you know about Pinocchio: A True Story?
no,
Oh my
no.
god, it's
Oh
the
wait, is
funniest
it
thing.
this? Is it like the animated one, like the
Father,
purely
father, when can I leave to
father?
be on my
I
own?
want to be a wheelboy, father. Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
God,
that. It's
somebody showed
that.
that to me, and that was the
Brilliant.
funniest thing I've seen.
It's
That was
beautiful.
just
It truly is.
beautiful.
But
What the voice acting? Oh my God. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
cinema. But we're
Cinema.
here to talk about Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which is just released on Netflix. What did you think?
This one was surprising. I mean, in a good way. All the Pinocchio films we've been to, like the original and the remake,
Yes.
those are very similar. Like, I mean, the original, it was purely hand drawn. I think, well, it's just
Yeah,
animated,
yeah, I think it
like
was.
all of
Yeah.
that way, and it's that pure Disney magic right there. But this one, he thought about everything really. He thought about where the story needed to go. He thought about the time period. He thought about like, okay, how do I fit in the story to be more realistic? And I can see that. Well, I didn't see the behind the scenes stuff or anything because I don't want to get too
There,
spoiled about it.
there is a documentary on Netflix called Guillermo del Toro's
Oh,
Pinocchio, hand carved cinema. It's only half an hour, and I haven't seen it yet, but I'm really interested because there's a lot of there's a lot of craft that goes into this film.
definitely, definitely. Like you get to see with the stop motion animation, which is beautiful. Like
Oh,
every emotion
oh,
they conveyed, animation needs to be praised a lot more. There's some amazing animation films out there that I recommend that you can watch on
mm,
Netflix, like
mm,
Your Name, Cowboy Bebop, or
mm.
is Wally
Which
there?
which isn't a film, but still, you get the point. You
Yeah,
get I agree. This film is just on another level. Every single detail is so beautiful, and the way that it all comes together. And Guillermo del Toro, he just has this incredible vision. If you've watched any other of his films, you'll know that he just understands how to make monsters come to life. And
yeah,
film is so creative. It does things that I really, didn't expect the story to go, and certainly things they don't get into in the original film, or indeed any of the remakes that I've seen. But first and foremost, I did not expect this film to go as hard as it did. We
yes,
had critiques about both Pinocchios that we've talked about. There's a lot
yeah.
of things they could have done to improve. And Guillermo del Toro, he took the aspect of films like, you know what this needs? This needs fascism. This needs fascism. This needs kids going to war. And this needs the concept of morality. Oh my God. I
Damn.
literally cannot begin to explain how hard this film hits
Yeah.
sometimes.
they brought in so many concepts into this film that was needed. Like, in the original, you do see the theme of morality in the original,
Mm.
like how Pinocchio chooses, does he listen to his conscience? But the idea of conscience isn't really in here in this film.
No.
It's all about all different concepts, like with war being in this carnival and the idea of, living. Like, he doesn't get the idea of, you're mortal. And in this film, the idea of immortality is explored in a very interesting way. There's a lot on emotion within those, and I thought that was just a very appropriate time to explore that today, with that's happening with war in Ukraine. And I thought that
Mm.
was needed to show in Pinocchio because war, well, obviously war is not good. And with the
Yeah,
idea
but
of that,
obviously.
obviously, yeah, it explores that and how war is shown a lot in news media, and then younger generation will see that. Like in this film, you get to see them that they're pulled into this, and they think it's something that's fun. This reminds me of the bit in Pinocchio where they get kidnapped by the guy that takes them to the island,
Yes.
and that is very similar to that is shown in the film where all the boys are taken to this fascism camp and they are
Yes.
completely indoctrinated into the
Oh,
idea of,
it's terrifying. Like, okay,
it's terrifying. It's
in our nine
absolutely terrifying.
in our 1940s Pinocchio video, we talked about how dark the film was and how traumatic it is. And this film is on such another level. I genuinely felt sick watching these poor innocent boys being taught to fight, no matter what side they're on. Just the fact that they've been taught to fight at such a young age, being
Mm.
taught to be so merciless. It's
And
horrible.
heartless.
Like,
Yes.
there's this whole sequence where Pinocchio, who is performing, and they really do kind of delve into the idea of him being used, and he's being used as propaganda. He's being used to get
Yeah.
these kids excited about going to war. And there's this whole montage where he's singing about how great it is being at war, and you can see kids leaving their homes and going, and the Candlewick, the one, like the main human child that we follow, you can see on his face he's just trying to make his dad proud, and he's going to go off to die. Like, genuinely, this film really, it didn't care about pulling its punches. If anything, I think, if I were to criticize the film, there is one point where I wish it didn't pull its punch when it does. But like at the beginning of the film, when Carlo, we'll kind of talk about Carlo a bit later, but when Carlo sees the planes riding overhead, and I thought, oh my God, is he going to get bombed? He doesn't get bombed. That's fine. But then they make you care for Carlo to the point where when he sees planes again and they drop an actual bomb on him, you see the bomb coming out of the plane. It was literally, for a kid's film, this is insane.
It was insane. I know. I don't know how Guillermo was like, you know what?
Let's just make this traumatic for everybody
Yeah, this is so
watching.
traumatic. I was like, this is so sad. This is like very traumatic. And damn, I was not expecting that path to go that way because I thought at the beginning when Geppetto was talking about his son dying, I was like, oh, did he die of disease? Because in that time, there wasn't a lot of like health things that were available to everyone at that time. But that, when it went into that, I was like, no, no,
what,
why are you
what are
making.
you doing? Yeah, I know. It really, like, it just goes hard. Like, a lot of the things that we were criticizing about the 1940s version and the 2022 Disney version, the 2022 Disney version just kind of like, oh, yeah, by the way, Geppetto has a kid. In this one, they really go into it. You can
Yeah.
feel the bond that they have, and you can feel the sadness when Carlo dies. You can really, empathize. And, that night when Geppetto is drunk and he is hacking away at the tree and he is screaming about how, he's done so much and how he doesn't even get to have his one wish. It's heartbreaking. I'm just watching it and I'm like, Geppetto, no. Let's take a moment to also say the acting is immense. It's
Oh, the
incredible.
voice
David
acting.
Bradley plays Geppetto
Fair.
and is
Yeah.
fantastic. Every
Fantastic.
single person brings their A game, and you can really feel all the characters, and you can really, empathize with them, the good and the bad, and it's amazing. It really, this movie comes to life on so many levels, and I was honestly skeptical whether this film would be able to reinvent Pinocchio, really kind of like give us something new, and they did in all the best
They did.
ways.
Yeah, it was just traumatic. And yeah, and then he was just hacking away while drunk. And I thought that was just the most realistic thing that we've just seen out of the Pinocchio, not universe. but like the
The
stories.
Pinocchio cinematic universe. All the different Pinocchios are going to get together and they're going to form a Pinocchio like
And then
team.
the seagull.
Oh,
Oh
the
my god,
seagull. The
oh
seagull is
my
Nick Fury.
god. Oh my god. And then
This is
the
it. This is
donkeys.
it. The donkeys are like the villains,
I
all
mean,
led by Honest John.
huh? Oh, Honest John. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
No, no,
no
no,
Honest John. Yeah.
not you, John.
Well,
Don't worry.
no, Honest John. I meant like I thought there wasn't an Honest John in the film. There wasn't. There
No,
was.
there wasn't. That it
There
was.
wasn't.
They had a different name. It was. I think most of them had different like names,
They
but they were
did.
the same kind of like.
Yes.
No Jiminy Cricket. This time we've got Sebastian J Cricket.
Voiced by none other than Ewan McGregor.
I know he was so delightful.
Oh my god.
As much as this film was terrifying and really kind of made me feel
It,
sick,
he
it was also hilarious.
I'm just looking at like the cast. He's just credited as the talking. I can't even see the
I think
full.
I think it's just the talking
Oh, the
cricket. It
talking
must
cricket.
be.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
Sebastian.
honestly, he was so good. Like, there are so many times when he's squished and he'll just go, the pain. And it's just so funny. And there's this reoccurring gag, which might be the funniest gag that I've seen in any film for like years, where he starts to sing. But so the first time he starts to sing is like, my dear father. And then like he just gets slammed by a door. It's the funniest thing. And then it happens again. And he's about to sing, it's like, my dear. And then like Monstro starts to eat them and it drowns the singing out.
Yeah.
And then finally he gets to do the song for the credits. It's brilliant. Honestly, like I honestly was so transfixed by this movie.
Oh man, yeah, like it just had everything. And yeah, the voice acting as well. Yeah, that was really good. And then I was very surprised by other people as well. Like Cate Blanchett,
Yeah, she plays the monkey.
she plays the monk.
She plays like Rasatura or whatever it's called.
I wondered how that she got like, Guillermo is like pitching her like, okay,
Listen. We want you to.
Cate
We're gonna
Blanchett,
play a monkey.
you're gonna play a monkey. Did she play in any like did she act in any of his films? Like I
Oh
wondered
yeah,
how
she was in Nightmare Alley earlier this year.
Oh. Wait, that came out this year?
Yeah, that was this year. I think
Wow.
it came out in
Wow.
2021 in America, but it came out this year in the UK. Yeah, damn.
I forgot
Two
about that
Guillermo
film.
del Toro films in a year. How lucky are we?
Wow. That is really good. That's really cool. But yeah, I was very surprised about Cate Blanchett just being in the credits, just like as
Yeah.
monkey. Like, wow.
And you know how like Putin, not Putin, Mussolini. Well, they could be the same thing. Am
Yes,
I
it's the same.
right?
I thought you were just talking about the guy in
No, no,
Mussolini. I was like,
no.
no,
It is
it's
Mussolini.
Mussolini.
Mussolini is played by John Turturro.
It, yeah, it is.
Yeah, brilliant,
No.
amazing.
Just look at the cast for Pinocchio, and you can
Yeah.
see him just smiling with his sunglasses. It's just him,
Oh, what a
and then
guy!
you can
What a
put
guy!
that
We
under
love him.
Mussolini, and it's just like the funniest thing ever. But anyway, yes, like the voice acting in general,
What did you
amazing.
think? Speaking of Mussolini, what did you think of the Pooh song?
I don't know. I think it was just taking a jab at Mussolini.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, but like, I was unsure about that bit. I must say, I kind of felt that it was a little bit like tame. I don't know.
Pain.
I know that he's a kid and all, but like, I don't know. He kind of stuck out to me a little bit. I know
Yeah,
that
it
they're
was okay.
like,
I
you know what I mean?
understand what you mean. I understand like it was very out of place at
Yeah.
this time. I mean,
The,
there wasn't really something to build up with that. I
yeah.
guess. Like, did Pinocchio who know who Mussolini was?
I guess so.
I
I
guess
guess it's
so.
just a given. I mean,
It's just
like they definitely do. I think this film is so mature that whenever it does some stuff that's less mature, I was kind of like, oh, maybe if I was younger, I would like it more. But I definitely think the Pooh song was definitely part where I was like, ah, come on. Like there were two moments, as I said earlier, where they pulled their punch, and I was like, no, like go
no.
for it. Like probably it's when they're in the training camp and the bombs
Mhm.
start to fall. They very like Pinocchio escapes so quickly, and I was like, no, I want to see children die. I want to properly like
What is
explore.
it? That sounds out of context. That sounds
You
out
know,
of
it's not out
context.
of context. No, I really wanted to like experience like what it was like for them, but we don't get that. I just want to see children die.
Oh my god, that sounds out of context. Anyway, yeah, I know what you mean. But the one thing that I'm kind of glad, well, it's not really shown in this one, but in the recent Pinocchio films. I mean, like the
Yes.
2022 and then the
Yes.
1940. You
Believe,
know,
believe,
they
believe me,
have
I wish
that.
I could forget the 2022 version.
Yeah, same. Sometimes I think, but I forget with that film. But with the original and the 2022 remake, they don't do the rescuing the donkeys or, any of that.
No, they don't.
But in this one, it's kind of saved, like comeuppance with the guy who keeps the children in the training camp, and then he gets killed.
Yeah, he gets
And
a
then
bomb to the face.
yeah, you get a bomb in the face, and then Candlewick escapes. I'm like, yay! That's something
Yay, the
that
kids eats
that
good.
I mean, the whole thing got bombed. So
Yeah. I mean, I guess they kind of like there's more of a thematic link this time, you know.
yes,
The donkeys have always been it's all about morality and it's about kids, kind of letting loose and like the consequences of what they will do if they disobey. In this one, it's the consequences of indoctrinating kids and using them like this. The kids probably none of them survived. Candlewick survived, but like other than that, you see them getting like given real guns and like having slapped on like gas masks and it's like yeah no they're probably
that's
like dead.
terrifying.
It genuinely is like such a scary concept and what's so worrying is these kids love it and they love pretending to be soldiers and it's terrifying because I used to like in the playground at school I used to play like being like a soldier or being like a Jedi and
Yeah, yeah,
like these things that you're a kid and you're having fun, you're playing with your friends, but like at some point it's no longer a game,
yeah.
They when they're playing the whole capture the flag thing, they end up like working together and they're having a great time. And then the dad's like, shoot him, kill
Shoot,
Pinocchio. And it's
shoot.
like, what? Like what?
It's
But
it's mad. It
it really
is.
is.
There's a thematic link all around. Like it's the idea of who do you want to be
Yeah.
exactly? Do you want to be a soldier, in that time obeying the law and everything, and that's terrifying. And
Mm.
then the idea of being praised, like in the film, Pinocchio asks Geppetto about Jesus, about like why does everyone love him? Why does he
Yes.
get to be loved? And then that's an important thing about religion as well, because religion and war, it was a massive thing in
Yeah.
that time period. If you think about it, like
Mm.
how a lot
Mm.
of soldiers had a mini Bible in their
Yes.
pockets, and they would take it everywhere, and then that would help them to be more brave. And I thought that was kind of linking things together with religion and war. Like you can be a hero, or you can be something that's praised, and then that's that savior complex as well in this film. It's like I could be praised and everybody loves me, but the cost of like not seeing my family, I could be a hero and save the
Yeah.
that's gonna leave me consequences of killing lives. It's very complex for Pinocchio, and I thought that was shown very well for that in the film. And I thought that's just a massive difference to explore in that film. I thought that was shown very well. Well done, Guillermo. Well done.
Yeah,
That's my mini
it's
comment.
incredible. I also want to point out that we're talking about Guillermo del Toro, but obviously there was another director as well. So this is also directed by Mark Gustafson. So well done you as well,
Oh
and
yes.
obviously all the animators and everybody.
Oh yes.
Just a big round of applause all around. But you're right, this
Yes.
film, it's about blind faith and it's about,
Blind faith. Yes.
like how far, you go for these institutions and seeing it through the eyes of a kid. I mean, I've called this film a kid's film a couple times. I'm not saying that animation is only for kids. I'm not I'm not Bob Chapek, but animation is more geared towards kids than it is adults. And my favorite kind of animations are the ones that do go into these really heavy themes, things like this film and like a lot of Studio Ghibli films and Fantastic Mr. Fox and the best of Pixar. These are films that can be enjoyed by kids and are made for kids, but there's a lot in it that you don't understand until you get older. And this film is imparting such wisdom. It's so much more than just don't lie. It's about who you choose to be in the most realistic way possible. Even like everything is just so much more real. Even in the way that in the two that we watched, the Disney ones, Geppetto sees Pinocchio alive and he's like, and then 2 seconds later he's like, my
Ah, my
son,
boy!
I
Ah,
have a
my
son.
boy! That's you!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
In this one, he's genuinely scared and he doesn't trust Pinocchio and he's genuinely like reluctant to have him to the point where this becomes like he has his own arc of learning to love Pinocchio and not just wanting his old son back. Like there's just so many layers in which this film operates. One of the biggest parts is when Honest John, I'm just gonna call him Honest John. I don't know their name in the movie, but
Pedestalman's
Christoph
character.
Waltz,
Yes.
Christoph Waltz,
Wait, is it
and
Christoph Waltz?
Yeah. Christoph Waltz,
Oh
who
yeah,
runs the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
circus.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Carry on. Carry on.
Christoph Waltz and Geppetto are like trying to like pull Pinocchio, and a car comes around the bend, and I thought, haha, how funny would it be if the car hit Pinocchio? And then the car hit Pinocchio, and I was like, oh my god. And then Pinocchio dies and goes to the afterlife. And you genuinely, this is like a thread throughout. Not only does this film answer questions about Pinocchio, how does he work? Is he immortal? What happens if he's set on fire? This film does all of that and makes it all thematically tie into the arcs and the themes of the movie. But this whole thread of immortality is really, really, really compelling. And the whole idea of every time you got to pay a price. And it's all part of his arc where he eventually says, I will give up my own immortality. As much as it was fun for him, he's going to give it up so he can go back. And the final sequence of the movie is one of the most heartbreaking yet hopeful things I have ever seen in any movie ever.
It's so bittersweet.
It really is just, it destroyed me. Like, we see Pinocchio living happily, and we see him live through Geppetto's death and Sebastian J. Cricket's death, eventually Razzatero's death, and then it's just Pinocchio on his own, and he walks off into the distance, and the narration says, I like to think that Pinocchio eventually did die, but it's just soul-destroying. Just this idea of this kind of pure thing living forever, almost like the story of Pinocchio itself. It's just amazing.
That is like a really good character arc for that. Like he understands immortality and then he wants to get rid of it, but then there's a price for that. He sees all his loved ones go away, and that is a really sad thing, but he learns from everything and then he starts, to carry on. And then that is like a massive character arc for that. And then it's so bittersweet, and that is like one of the really interesting endings to a film.
Yeah, genuinely is. Like, I wonder if I watched this when I was a kid, I would be like so wise now. I feel like this has so many lessons to impart for so many different kinds of people.
Yeah.
And just like, it just like even like the music
Oh,
and
the
the
music.
songs were just
Oh my God.
breathtaking. Every single element of it, as I say, I wish it didn't pull its punches sometimes, but other than that, I really couldn't have asked for a better reimagining and adaptation of Pinocchio. As the video title says, this puts all other filmic versions to shame. The Disney versions wish they could be this good.
They'd be like, the Pinocchio 22 remake? Watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
don't
if you're gonna watch
please.
any kind of Pinocchio version in
this one.
general, it's this one.
It's this one.
100%. It's
Yeah.
on Netflix. I urge every single person. We have spoiled it all for you. I forgot to say spoilers ahead.
Oh,
So
spoilers. You
I'll
kind of know
edit
the
it. Wait, I'll
story.
edit it. Watch this. And before we start, full spoilers ahead. Haha, I'm here from the future. I've edited that.
Wow,
They will never
spoilers.
notice. But yeah, everyone should watch it. It's a perfect film to watch around the holidays with your family. I think it's perfect for, every age above like the age of
Exactly.
like 6. I don't know, something like that. But it is genuinely fabulous. And
Just don't give
everything
him
I could have wanted
trauma.
is more. Oh yeah, I think I have trauma from this film. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
be who
but
you are.
Pinocchio becomes a tool for war. And
Damn.
oh my God, it's I did not expect it to go there. I knew that it was going to have
He
fascism.
was used.
I
He
didn't
was
know it
used
would
for
go this
propaganda.
hard.
Yeah,
He
he was used
was.
for.
He really
Yeah,
was.
he was.
Oh
Like
my
used for
God, John.
propaganda. Used for that.
John. John.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was a puppet.
Oh my God, that's the film. Oh my God, that's linked to everything.
It's
Damn.
genius.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Incredible.
Yes.
Pinocchio 2022. Guillermo
Yes.
del Toro's Pinocchio. To clarify, what are you going to give it out of 10?
I'm really struggling between a 9 or a 10. As you said, there were some bits that would kind of throw me out, like with the Pooh song, but
Oh.
I'm stuck between a 9 or a 10. I'm gonna say 9 or a 10. Like
Yeah.
that is really hard to say. Like
Yeah, I'm with you. I was torn, but I think I'm going 9. It just like what a wonderful film. What an absolute
what a
corker.
wonderful film. Please do watch it. It's
Yes.
important. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wish it was available at the cinemas as well. So if it's at the cinema wherever you are in the world, if it's showing at the cinema and you can see it, you really should.
Go.
Because go now, right now. You run. Like
Run.
it is genuinely so great. Thank you everybody for listening. If you liked it and you're listening on YouTube, you can give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. And if you're on Spotify, you can follow us and give us a 5-star review if you think we're worthy. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing the first Avatar. Oh boy, I am so excited. Jimmy Cameron, what a guy. We're doing the first one, and then in a couple of weeks we'll be doing The Way of Water. Oh my god, I'm so
Oh my god.
excited.
Oh my god.
Have you watched the first one yet in preparation?
I'm gonna watch it as soon as possible.
Oh
Like
my
I
god, I watched it last week. It's so good. I
Oh my
loved
god.
it, man.
Really, really, like it's
Yeah.
funny when we haven't talked about Avatar. I mean,
No,
for
I
years.
know. I mean, we'll talk about this next week, but like, it is genuinely crazy how I didn't love this when I was a kid. But
Yeah, same.
who
I
knows?
I
Who
was
knows?
like, haha, big tall people.
They blew. Yeah. So that's next
But
week. So please do
I'm
tune
very
in
looking
for
forward to
that.
watch it. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
me too, me too. And you can email us with your questions. Tell us your thoughts on Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio or anything in general. And you can ask us questions as well at ourtimefilmpod@gmail.com. And we will answer right here on the
And
podcast. And you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well.
if Twitter is still going,
Twitter
I
is
heard,
still going. And I never really tweet, but you can still follow us.
Yes. Thank you for listening. We thoroughly enjoyed talking about Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, the goat.
The
Yes.
goat.
The
Yeah,
GOAT, the
absolutely.
MVP. That's why the love that video. That if you know what that video is, it is absolutely amazing. It's just a guy that is so passionate. That is so
He's so
passionate.
he's
It's
literally that's just what a guy.
what a guy. What a guy. I hope
That's
he's
me next week when I'm coming out of Avatar: The Way of Water. The
James
goat.
Cameron's the GOAT. That's why he's the
James
MVP.
Cate.
The GOAT. The GOAT.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
And I do want to take a couple of moments to thank each and every one of you for anybody listening who's watched the Andor pod, because oh my
Oh.
god, it is honestly just brilliant. The
Mhm.
currently, let's have a look, shall we? Currently,
Oh,
it is
let's
on 949 views, and
wow.
it also has the most likes out of any other video we've done. Like we don't always get loads and loads of views, and it's just so gratifying to see. Like this is the most viewed video in over a year, and it's just incredible.
Dang.
And we're a small podcast, but it genuinely does mean the world to see people
Two
enjoying our
likes.
content and seeing our subscribers go up and all that stuff. So thank you everybody who's watched. That genuinely means the world. And yeah, hopefully anyone who has watched that video, you found something to enjoy in our content, and you can come back for more.
Yeah, if you've been enjoying them, yeah, give 'em a like or on Spotify.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, do that. I mean, don't. I mean, I don't want to force, but do whatever you want.
Do
Yeah,
it.
do it. Right. Okay. Take what you're given.
Give nothing back.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Avatar next week.
Avatar.
Avatar next week.
Jimmy Cameron, the goat. Sorry.
Oh Jesus.